hear me okay? I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see my screen. I'm just going to ramble on for a couple of seconds until you guys are here and you can hear me, and you can hopefully see my screen. You can't always trust technology. It's got a mind of its own. I should know better because I am in technology. Okay, so today's video is about how to transform your business from budget to luxury, and what we are going to focus on is what are the essential components that can help you achieve just that. So, in other words, this video is about making luxury profits from your business, and that's what we're always talking about, here in my videos. How you can maximize output by minimizing input. You guys who are new, you might not know this, but if you're a long time watcher, you know that we are committed to making things easy for businesses. If you're like us, and if you're really committed to making most from your business by doing less, then you love our deep discussions about it. Okay, so let's move on. How to transform your business from budget to luxury, and what are the essential components that can help you achieve that. So, right. So before I dive deep into this, I'd like to basically look into what defines luxury, especially from the point of view of how the world perceive it. What we associate with luxury when we talk about luxury, right? And so when we're thinking of the word luxury, what immediately comes to mind are the luxury fashion brands, because they have been so prominent over the years. I mean, the way they market and the way they have made their way into our minds, and into our lives. So whenever we are thinking of luxury, most of the time, it's the fashion brands that literally just spring out, and come to front of our mind. And brands like Gucci, Chanel, Prada, Burberry, Ferragamo, you name it, and there's so many of them. But I in my mind, I see luxury as something that we want more than we need, right? And that is a very important aspect to take heed of. So you are looking at something that revolves around our desires rather than our needs. And in the world we live in, typically what we want is always more expensive than what we need. Okay, I'm sure you must have realized that. So typically, our wants are a lot more expensive than the basic needs of our life, and this luxury basically goes way beyond our necessities. So these are the non-essentials. This is not what is needed for us to survive, in other words. And that's what we call luxury, right? um, I want you to dissociate from luxury brands and think of what people associate with luxury itself. So if you're looking at demographically, then luxury is typically associated with the affluent. Okay, so that's one of the prominent things that we notice these days. And then it's linked to opulence, exclusivity, prestige, elegance, quality, wealth. That's what defines luxury in this day and age. Now, any item can be a luxury item, be it clothing, car, accessories. So it spans across different categories, different items, different products. In fact, even mobile phone, and in fact even toilet paper is considered a luxury item. Okay, so the question then becomes, how can we make luxury work for us, right? I mean, now considering these associations with luxury, the key idea is to harness the benefits that come with it. And one of the most crucial aspects is profitability. So the idea is to harness what luxury has to offer, right? And how can we do that? Is perhaps the next question to ask, and that is simply by aligning your business with the attributes linked to luxury. If you do that, you can actually create a much more profitable venture. This is because customers are willing to pay a premium for the core attributes associated with luxury. Okay. And because this is what they're habitual of, right? This is what they're used to. This is what, and which is why you can benefit from this, and you can take advantage of what is associated with luxury these days, right? So again, if this concerns you, then I must say this is nothing new. This has been there forever, not just for decades and decades, and the last 30, 40 years, in fact, but it's been there for centuries, right? In fact, the early words of sorry the word luxury is associated back from the Roman era. So this is not a novel concept. What we are going through in this video, it's not a novel concept at all. So you don't have to worry about you being the first one to implement what we are going to be discussing in this video. And so you don't have to worry about your risk levels. You don't have to worry about, so basically you're not going to be throwing yourself in the deep end, and start a discovery mission, right? So if you're thinking, I mean, I'm sure, some of you are screaming through the screen that you do not want to build a brand, and you're probably thinking, I have named such big brands, and that's probably where I'm going, and that's what I would want you to do, and that is the only way to benefit from making money in the luxury market. That's not quite true. So basically, you can take advantage of the different aspects and the components of what the luxury market offers and does without building a luxury brand. Okay. The idea is to benefit from all that comes with the word luxury without having to build the brand. That is the big idea, is what we are discussing today, right? So again, how you're probably asking, how can you make this work for yourself, right? And we can use essential components that are responsible for luxury profits without having to build a luxury brand, right? And these essential components is what I'm going to talk you through one by one in this video. And if that little voice in your mind is going, really, is that possible? The answer is yes. You can have your cake and eat it too. Right. So what can you do as a business to go luxury, right? I have identified 11 essential components that are necessary that can help make the transition from a budget business to a luxury business. Okay. And I'm going to talk you through all those 11 components. By going luxury, let me make this clear, by the way, like I said earlier, by going luxury, I mean adopting strategies, tactics, methods, and formulas, not necessarily building a brand, right? So this is quite the opposite of what you've been hearing and listening in the last few years from a lot of business consultants and perhaps gurus, where they say that you have to build a brand if you want to, or if you feel like competing in the market with some of the big brands in your category, in your industry, in your business type. And I don't necessarily feel that is true. So you can essentially implement a lot of things that these brands do without having to build one. The essential components are also the key differences between these two types of businesses, budget and luxury. The components that we are going to talk about are also these are the key differences that differentiate between what a budget business is like and what a luxury business is like. You can start using these components as and when you feel necessary and in the sequence that you may prefer. They are not necessarily in strict sequential order. So don't lose your sleep over this. You don't have to worry too much about, okay, do I have to implement step one and then step two and then step three? None of that. You can pick and choose, what you feel necessary, what you feel is important and is going to help you most right now, and you can start implementing that in your business. So the best way to implement them is to choose one or two at a time and try different strategies with those components. And if you have been in business for long, you know that business is nothing more than trying and testing things and keeping those and augmenting those which work and letting go of those which don't work. It's as simple as that. And exactly the same rules apply here, right? So not all of the components will work for every business, mind you. So, but the more you of these you use, the more you will see your profits soar. So please excuse my typo there. Obviously, I have done this in a haste. But of course, the more components you use naturally, the more your business will benefit. But I wouldn't bother about implementing everything if you can't, and obviously pick and choose the ones which are necessary for your business, right? And a lot of them you will be able to relate to when we go through them. Okay, so here are the components: pricing strategy, target audience, product quality, brand image, marketing approach, distribution channels, customer experiences, supply chain, research and development, competition, and we have um, profit margins. Okay, so these are the 11 components. Like I said, I've numbered them, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are in strict sequential order. So pick and choose and apply and implement as you deem necessary. Okay, so uh, let's talk about the components in a bit more detail now. So on the left hand side, you can see you've got the aspect, you've got the budget, and you've got the luxury. So we are going to do like a comparison on this page, and you're going to also see the shift a business needs to make from budget to luxury. Okay, so pricing strategy is the first one, as we discussed in the previous screen. Lower pricing and cost conscious. So what that means is that typically a budget business focuses on lower pricing, cheap, 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 and they are naturally, what that means is that their target audience is a cost conscious customer. If you want to go luxury, you will have to target, your pricing has got to be obviously more towards higher pricing, and you are going to be focusing on premium as compared to cheap or lower pricing products, right? And I'm going to talk you through different examples as well over here. So it is important that you understand that what we are talking about is not industry specific. It is not necessarily business specific. So any business, any industry, or any category of business can actually make use of these strategies, as you will see, which is why I have taken examples from different industries, so you can relate and you can understand that yes, different industries can apply these strategies and still benefit from them. So when it comes to pricing strategy, what to do: shift from lower pricing to higher pricing to reflect premium quality and exclusivity. Okay, as simple and straightforward to understand. That's the shift a business needs to make. Okay, and the example here is that of a luxury watch manufacturer, right? The watch manufacturer transitions from producing affordable watches to luxury timepieces. They invest in high quality materials, intricate designs, and limited editions. The pricing strategy involves tiered pricing, with entry-level luxury watches and exclusive limited editions at premium prices. So what this luxury watch manufacturer is doing is that he's not letting go of his budget clientele, for that matter, but they are making efforts to go luxury. Okay. And they're transitioning from affordable watches to luxury watches, and still keeping the tiered pricing, which obviously naturally means that they are not they are going to they do want to keep their existing clients, which are budget clients. Okay. Let's move on to component number two, which is target audience. Mass market and price sensitive. Typically, a budget business is going into the market with the point of view of they're trying to grab as many people as they possibly can, and then they're trying to see what is, and they're obviously that's why they're price sensitive. So obviously, the more people you're trying to attract, the more people you're trying to sell to, naturally, you have got to make price a very important factor, and which is why they keep their prices low. Okay. But if you're going luxury, you are then going to be dealing with and selling to the affluent. Okay. And naturally, you've got to be quality conscious because your clients will be quality conscious. Okay. So that's the shift that you need to make as a business. And here's the example. So, what you need to do is move from a mass market approach to targeting a more affluent, quality conscious audience. And the example is that of a luxury car brand. A high end car brand shifts from a niche market to a broader audience by introducing more stylish models. While maintaining luxury features, they target a younger demographic with a focus on performance and style, expanding beyond the traditional affluent market. Right. So what they're trying to do, obviously over here, is that they're trying to target a younger demographic. Okay. And this could be the people who they're already serving. So it could be the kids of their existing clients, for that matter. Right. Not necessarily, but that's what that could be one of the things that they may consider implementing, right? And they are going much more broader by introducing stylish models to attract the younger audience. Okay. So that's an example of the target audience shift, and that's what a luxury car brand would do to attract that market. Let's move to component number three, which is product quality. Basic features, cost efficient. Naturally, if you're trying to keep the costs down of the product or the service that you're offering to the budget market, you can only afford to offer basic features, right? But if you want to move to luxury market, then you will have to improve upon the features. You will have to increase, add on, perhaps give a lot more than what you have been offering in your budget product and offerings, budget products and service offerings, which means you have to offer premium quality, and you've got to make it exclusive, right? The more exclusive something is, the more expensive naturally it becomes, right? So that's what it is now. And it increases and it gains intrinsic value as well. So let's move to the example of product quality now. What you need to do is, like I said, enhance product features and quality to meet the standards of luxury goods. The example here is that of a premium smartphone company, right? A smartphone company known for budget devices invests in research and development to enhance camera quality, materials, and overall performance. The shift involves the introduction of a premium line with cutting edge technology and exclusive features. Okay, so we are talking about budget devices, which are very basic. Naturally, they would offer a basic line of features, just perhaps making phone calls, messaging, this, that, and the other. But then they are now looking to increase their camera quality. They're looking to increase their materials, long-lasting materials, perhaps, almost, although I've never heard of an unbreakable mobile phone, but it could be one. But that's what they're trying to do, to move towards budget. Sorry, to move towards luxury, towards the luxury market. Let's move on. Let's look at the next component: brand image. Value oriented and cost effective. Um, Again, you are focusing on value, the basic value that you can give, right? The major, the maximum amount of value that you can give for the minimum amount of price that you can charge is probably the best way to put it, right? That's what a budget business is. And then from if you want to shift to the luxury, you're looking at you're looking at prestigious and aspirational, right? So obviously, what you're looking at, you know the brand image that people would aspire to buy from. Okay, that's what you are looking at. And obviously that offers prestige, that offers quality, that offers exclusivity, some of the points that we've already discussed. But that's what it stands for, right? I mean, people would aspire. So for example, some of the luxury brands that we mentioned earlier, people, those who cannot afford but love fashion, they aspire and they save and they work towards gaining, getting, buying those luxury brands. Similar is the similar can be used for example, exotic cars, or sports cars, and whatever. So that's what a brand would represent if it wants to go luxury from budget. Let's look at what you need to do is develop a prestigious and aspirational brand image to align with the luxury market, like I explained. And oh, apparently, the example over here is that of a fashion brand anyway. A fashion brand known for affordable clothing repositions itself as a luxury brand. They overhaul their image by collaborating with high profile designers, organizing exclusive fashion shows, and using premium materials to create a sense of exclusivity and prestige. Now, if you look at this example, you will realize that none of this is particularly very hard if you're in fashion. So, say, for example, if you are in budget, if you are supplying to the masses, and if you are, for example, doing, I don't know, cheap t-shirts and trousers or jeans, right? Then for you to collaborate with somebody, some of the designers, to in order to be able to elevate your brand, should not be very difficult, right? And especially this day and age, you get a lot of people who are available to be associated with a brand. Okay, and then you're looking at fashion shows. Yes, I mean, of course, it demands money, and you need to have perhaps not very deep pockets. You can have fashion shows for not a lot of money, but yeah, you can do fashion shows, and you can focus on super good premium materials, right? I mean, for example, brands like Uniqlo, they use exclusive, very good technology, right? That they have come up with, and I'm sure a lot of it is their proprietary technology. But you don't have to go into that. I mean, there are materials available, which you can buy and start using in your clothing, and then increase and elevate your brand image. Let's move to the next one: marketing approach. Discounts and promotions. Again, not a surprise. Of course, if you're running a budget business, your entire focus will be sale, 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 discount, 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 promotion, promotion, promotion. So before the next promotion, before this promotion ends, the next promotion begins, and before the next promotion begins, the next promotion after that begins as well. So sometimes some of these brands are running like multiple promotions, multiple discounts, right? And in my opinion, that is probably not the best approach if you want to run a happy, healthy, profitable business. What would you do um, if you were to go luxury? When it comes to marketing approach, you would again target and focus on exclusivity and perhaps limited editions. So the best way to compare here is that I'm not sure if you have been keeping an eye on the markets, but post some of the big brands actually never offer a sale. Okay, so they never offer sale 365 days a year, no matter what. Come rain come shine, they actually do not offer a sale. It's not a part of their policy. But after COVID, a lot of the other brands who lost out on making money, due to COVID, of course, they have actually also stepped out from the sales scenario, and they're not offering promotions, they're not offering discounts, they're not offering sale. Yes, you sorry. So when you go out and you start to shop, you tend to see a lot of promotions and discounts. But if you start to follow some of the brands, you will see that they are still not offering any discounts or promotions. And limited editions again, some of these brands, when you go, what I've started to find more and more is that you go and you look for something and you try and buy it, and before you know it, it's gone. A lot of these brands, to the detriment of losing money, they make sure that they are not making too many of each item, right? And that is intentional on their part. The reason they are doing that is because they want to keep this air of exclusivity alive, right? They want to have this sense of exclusivity among their buyers, who are obviously wanting to buy something, and then they go for something, they like something, they want to buy it, they realize it's not there. Or let's take another example. They would go, they would like something, they will choose it, and they'll say, you know what, I'll just keep this for now, and probably I'll come back in a few days time and I'll get it afterwards, right? And they won't. And what that creates amongst the buyers especially is that it's telling the buyers that, you know get it now. It's like programming the buyer's brain, from the point of view of, if you don't get it now, you're never going to get it again. This is going to be gone forever. Okay. And this creates the sense of exclusivity, and hence they feel that whatever is in front of them is limited, and if they want to make the decision, they have to make the purchase decision now, right? And this, from my point of view, is I feel a good strategy from a lot of the brands. And by the way, that I'm not just talking about fashion brands or clothing brands. I'm talking about pretty much any brand these days, right? They have this limited editions, and they have exclusivity, and they only create and generate and produce a certain number of products, right? And again, this is intentional. Let's look at what you need to do, in other words, which is utilize exclusivity, limited editions, and premium focused marketing strategies if you want to go luxury, of course, right? And the example here is that of a jewelry designer. Okay, so a jewelry designer moves from budget-friendly collections to a luxury market. Their marketing strategy focuses on storytelling, very important, by the way, highlighting the craftsmanship and exclusivity of each piece. They collaborate with renowned photographers and influencers to create visually stunning campaigns. Okay, again, this example, what we talk about in this example is not rocket science. Any jewelry brand with some effort can do exactly what I've explained here. Okay, so I'm hoping that through these components and through these different aspects and the shifts that I'm explaining, along with the examples I'm giving, um, it's giving you, it's triggering some positive thoughts, and you're probably thinking, some of this I can actually do, and I can make this happen. Let's move on. Next one is distribution channels, mass retail, online marketplaces. Okay. um, we know anything that is, well, actually that's probably not entirely true. Not anything and everything, but a lot that is offered online is cheap, and it's considered, when I say cheap, I mean, of course, you know, from the point of view of cost competitiveness is what I mean by that. um, and it's mass retail. It's um, it's aligned in such a way that it's attracting the maximum amount of buyers that they can possibly attract, right? That's what that is. And if you want to move to luxury, then you're looking at high-end boutiques and luxury stores. um, and again, this could be a stepped strategy. You don't have to start buying or going on, buying bricks and mortar, or shops and signing up long leases with them. You can actually have arrangements with um, different companies who are already have got high street presence, and you can have step one, you can get in there, and then you can have step two and step three of having and owning your own shop a few years down the line. But that's the way to go if you want to go luxury. You're looking at high-end boutiques and of course luxury stores, right? Let's look at what you've got to do. So shift towards high-end boutiques, luxury stores, and exclusive distribution channels. That should be, the action that one needs to take if they want to make the shift towards luxury, and the distribution channels. And the example that I've got here is that of a luxury perfume brand. Okay, so you're looking at a perfume brand that transitions from mass market retail to exclusive boutiques and department stores. They establish flagship stores in luxury shopping districts and partner with high-end online retailers, emphasizing the exclusivity of their scents. Now, depending on how old you are, um, the reason I have taken this example of perfume brands is because I'm not sure if you can relate, but 15 to 20 years ago, perfume brands never, apart from one or two, of course, they never really used to have high street presence. Okay, so you probably had one or two perfume chains, right? Perfume shop chains. Sorry, and they would offer multiple brands, right, within their shop, and you would only have two, three of them. I'm talking about UK, uh, mainly, mostly. But now, if you realize in the last 10 to 15 years, you have got so many, shops, physical presence of a lot of these perfume brands. It is unbelievable. You've got oud companies, and you've got God knows so many of them, right? And this is a classic example of, they thought that they can go premium, they thought they can go luxury, right? And they decided to take matters in their own hand. So instead of distributing and selling the perfumes through departmental stores and online and whatever, they decided to have their physical presence, which is incredible. Which is why we have seen so many of them pop up in the last 10, 15 years. And they're scattered all over high streets, really, which is, again, for me, in an incredible example of an industry thinking, why don't we approach the customer direct, and why don't we literally, and because we, of course, we can offer them higher prices, and they are going to be able to buy it at higher prices. We should try that, and of course they have been very successful in that. So let's move to the next one now. Customer experience, classic one. Basic service, self-service, naturally. So if you're running a budget business, a lot of it is done, via self-service, or the very basic level of service that you can provide, naturally, because the amount of money that you're making doesn't allow you to provide exclusive or premium service. If you want to move to luxury, then you're looking at personalized and exceptional service, naturally, and again, this is not rocket science. So provide personalized and exceptional service to match the expectations of luxury consumers. And the example here is that of a hotel chain known for budget accommodations, upgrades to luxury offerings. They invest in personalized concierge services, luxury amenities, and exclusive experiences for guests, ensuring a seamless and memorable stay. Again, if you look at the last, especially the last 20 to 30 years, I'm sure some of these hotel chains started doing this way before, way before. But I've started to notice when I started to, come into my senses. Let's put it that way. And I've noticed that a lot of these chains, hotel chains, they vary from 5 star all the way to budget. I mean, they may not be um, using exactly the same brand or same name, but the umbrella company is the same. Okay, so if you start to do the research, you're going to see, for example, brands like, for example, Hilton and Marriott. Their parent companies have got the entire offering from top to bottom, from a 5 star hotel all the way through to the budget hotels, which I personally think is an amazing strategy to adopt, right? Doesn't happen overnight. It takes years, it takes sometimes decades, especially for big businesses, but they've been able to achieve that. And not only that, they've done this globally. So that's a classic example. Let's move on. Supply chain, cost efficient bulk production. Naturally, this is where they are looking at the economies of scale, right? So they are producing bulk, and at the same time, they are, focusing on cost-efficient offerings of whatever the product or whatever the service is, right? And this is what the entire business revolves around. Unfortunately, cost, price, and as cheap as they possibly can offer. And the more they produce, the cheaper it gets for them, and hence they can offer it more cheap into the market to their consumers, right? If you want to move to luxury, what you've got to do with your supply chain is you've got to make it exclusive and limited production. You will be surprised to know that a lot of big companies, actually, when they are running, for example, their manufacturing plants, and their factories, they do not run those factories and their plants at maximum capacity. They always leave some room. So a lot of them are running, at 60% capacity, 70% capacity, whereas they have got the potential to run them at 100% capacity. And that is intentional, again, because they are servicing and feeding the luxury market, so they are making higher profit margins, which is amazing, which means that they don't have to work around the clock to produce X amount of products and service products, rather, to be able to then sell to make money, right? Because their margins are very good, they can afford to breathe a little, right? Which means, their resources, when are being used the way they're supposed to be used, and they do not have too much pressure on the resources, which means that they are running a very stable and perhaps sustainable operation. Okay, let's move on. Adjust the supply chain to accommodate limited production runs and exclusive sourcing of materials. And the example here is that of a high-end furniture manufacturer, right? So a furniture manufacturer shifts from mass production to exclusive limited edition pieces. They collaborate with premium material suppliers, focus on craftsmanship, and implement a made to order system to minimize excess inventory and maintain exclusivity. Okay. And again, this is, you will see, if you start to notice a lot of these examples, one thing that will probably become very evident is the word collaborate. I've used that in most of the examples because this day and age you will see everything is about collaboration, right? um, and again, it's not a new concept, it's been there for centuries and decades, sorry, decades and centuries, but a lot of companies collaborate, and that's how they maximize. I am a great fan of collaborations, and in some of my businesses we do have fantastic collaborations going on. They're not so easy to get, they're not so easy to find, they're not so easy to fine tune, but when you do get them right, they are extremely beneficial. Okay. So that's what is the example of the high-end furniture manufacturer when it comes to supply chain. Next one, research and development. Minimal investment in innovation, significant investments in R&D for a luxury business. Naturally, when you are running a budget business, your focus typically is not, trying to create the next best thing, or trying to create the most innovative thing, or trying to create the most creative thing, right? So you may end up making an investment, but that is only a that is a fraction of companies would do that. But if you want to go luxury, one of the ways to stand out, you don't have to necessarily do that, like I said, but this is one of the ways that is a differentiating factor that can make you stand out if you are spending money on research and development. So, invest significantly in innovation to meet the high standards of luxury products. The example, surprise, surprise, is that of a technology company. A tech company known for budget gadgets invests heavily in R&D to develop cutting-edge premium devices. They introduce innovative features, collaborate with industry experts, and create a roadmap for ongoing technological advancements. I think again this is very clear, but this doesn't have to apply to technology alone. I mean, this can apply to any business practically. And again, when it comes to research and development, you don't have to necessarily think of hundreds and thousands of pounds and millions. I mean, you can literally have if you have if you run a small business, it can actually be one or two people, or a small department that you can put together, whose focus is just to try and continually make the product good and better as compared to your competitors. Try to run comparisons of what your competitors are offering and what you can offer as well, and that is good enough for a small company. So that can be your research and development. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to set up a lab, right, in order to be able to do research and development and try and compete with some of the big businesses in your industry. You can be doing this on a very small scale, and you can do very well with it. Let's move on. Competition. Price competition, brand competition. Naturally, budget business is competing on, guess what, price. And that is the one thing that is of prime importance to them, and that's what they focus on. That's what they compete on. And naturally, if you're competing on price, I'm not sure if you can actually even be using the word competing, because from when you're competing on price, you can only be going in one direction, and that is going down, right? Naturally, if you are competing with another budget business, which is the market that you're in, you're competing with your competitors. They reduce your price, you reduce your price further. They reduce their price again, you reduce your price even more. And that game continues until one of the businesses or a few of those businesses go bust, right? Practically, naturally, organically, this ends up being the fate of a business that is focusing or is heavily focused on price. Okay, and if they are trying to offer the cheapest products, in the market, similar products in the market. And my understanding of price, people who compete on price, or price competitors, right? The businesses that are competing on price, is that this game is best played by the big boys. Okay, so if you're a big boy and if you have got tons of money to lose, and in the process you're thinking, let me do that, and it may eliminate some of my competition. Excellent, no problem, good, perhaps good business strategy. But if you're not a big business, sorry, if you're not a big boy and if you don't have tons of money to use, price competition is a very dangerous game to play. Okay, what would a luxury brand do? They would compete on the brand. Now, when they're competing on the brand, the price does not come into the equation. So they are competing on a different set of priorities. They're competing on a different set of elements altogether, which is why brand competition is much more healthier. So you are, like I said, you may be competing against the products, against the raw materials of the products that you're using, how you're supplying those products. You can be using, so your brand is being used, and you can even be using different segment of the market. You may be servicing different areas of the same market, but your differentiating factors are others, other than price. Okay, um, let's move on. So you're looking at, instead of competing on the basis of price and value for money, compete on brand. That's what a luxury brand would do. The example here is that of a cosmetics brand. So you're looking at a cosmetics brand faces increasing competition in the luxury segment. To differentiate, they collaborate with renowned makeup artists, introduce, again, the word collaborate, introduce unique formulations, and launch limited edition collections, staying ahead of competitors through innovation and exclusivity. Exactly what I just mentioned. If you are competing on brand, you don't have to necessarily worry about the pricing. Okay, so again, last one is profit margins. You're looking at lower margins if you're running a budget business, and of course you're looking at higher margins if you're running a luxury business, right? And that is very clear and very evident, obviously. And lower margins, like I said, are not very healthy. Your business can be wiped out just like that, if there are sudden shifts in the market, sudden shifts in the environment, the environment that you're operating in, of course, right? I mean, that could be political, that could be economical, that could be anything, right? That can even be, let's say, your supplier has increased their value because their raw materials have increased in, your supplier has increased in their price because their raw materials that they're getting, they are now getting it much more at an expensive price than before. It can be any reason, right? But if you have got higher margins, you have got some cushion that you can rely on. Okay, so so experience higher profit margins with premium pricing naturally. The example here is that of a footwear company that that shifts from budget sneakers to a premium line. Despite lower production costs for the budget line, they strategically price the premium line to maximize profit margins, relying on brand image, exclusivity, and perceived value to justify higher prices. Guys, I don't have to tell you, if you are into footwear, if you like shoes, doesn't matter, what kind of shoes you like, but the footwear market has literally gone kaboom, right? It's kind of like exploded in the last 15, 20 years. I'm sure you've realized that. And some of the brands which were sports brands, for example, have been competing with the luxury brands now. Okay, and vice versa, right? The luxury brands have realized, hang on a second, sports market is such a big market. we will not be sitting and not doing anything about it. We want the piece of the action, and hence they have gone into the sports market as well, right? And now any, an average sneaker, which would have costed like 50, 60 pounds back in the day, can cost 300, 400 pounds, right? And people are buying them right, left, and center. So again, that is a classic example of a footwear company, or in this case the entire industry, going luxury. Okay. um, right. So the point that I'm trying to make once again, just to bring that point home, is that you can still enjoy the advantages that luxury brands reap without enduring the challenges and effort of establishing a large brand, if you follow some simple strategies that I've given you in this video. So you can watch this video again and again, start implementing some of these strategies, and there is only one way this can help you, and that is to help you make more money, hopefully to help increase your margins, increase the profits, and plus, in the process, you can have a better brand value, right? And that is all going in the positive direction. So thanks a lot for watching. If you found this video valuable and are eager to explore strategies for elevating your business from a budget to a luxury brand, um, then please visit customizedstrategy.com. And remember, customized is spelled with an S, the British way of spelling customize. We are in the UK, so we stick to the British way of spelling customize rather than using Z. We use S, of course, so please keep that in mind. Visit customizedstrategy.com. Once on the website, you'll find a brief questionnaire to understand more about your business goals and how we can assist you, right? After completing the form, you can schedule a consultation with my team or myself. We're ready to engage in a productive conversation and brainstorm ideas tailored to help you achieve luxurious profits in your business. Okay. And please, I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you have gained some insights as to how you can perhaps make more profits from your existing business by taking it more towards the luxury route. And visit customizedstrategy.com if you would like to book a consulting session. For now, this is it. Thank you very much, and see you later. Take care. Adios.